This episode contains content about the Dropbox public folder, a feature that has been removed for accounts made after 4th October 2012. If you are a paid Dropbox user, I've included instructions on how to enable this feature for your account in the video description. Otherwise, I'm afraid this episode doesn't apply to you. My apologies. I've added links to some possible alternatives in the video description. They're not as great, but hopefully also works for you. Hello and welcome back to Friday Minis. Now, if I've timed this episode correctly, then the Wednesday episode would have been about, just web pages in general, the whole idea behind web hosting, as well as, having a back end that does processing and all that. If you haven't watched that episode, do click on the annotation on screen. I think it's a pretty quick overview of, a whole lot of different terms. But we're not here to talk about that. Instead, I'm here to share with you a little tip if you want to get started with hosting a very simple web page and you don't want to shell out a whole bunch of cash to get started. All you need is a Dropbox account. In your Dropbox account, you'll find a public folder. The whole idea of the public folder is, if you have any files in there, anyone with the link to that file can access it. What this means then is that you can actually use Dropbox as a very simple web host. Now, do bear in mind that Dropbox is only a file host. In other words, we are limited to just simple front-end processing. Dropbox will not parse PHP for you, and Dropbox will definitely not run any databases for you. In other words, all you can do is you can create basically just a web page, you can style it nicely with CSS, and you can include JavaScript for fancy front-end processing, but you cannot do any of that PHP stuff. However, if you are just trying to create a simple portfolio or something along those lines, then Dropbox does the job. All you have to do is to create your HTML files in a folder and essentially share the link to, your home page. When a user actually puts in the link and goes to that file you are sharing, your browser will see it as an HTML file and will render it accordingly. And there you go, that is how you can actually host a website without having to pay any amount of money. Obviously, it's limited in certain ways. However, that's a good starting point, and depending on what you want to create, it might be all you need for that particular purpose. If you want to make your page more accessible, use a URL shortener to basically, give your website a friendlier name. That basically wraps it up for this episode. I hope you learned something today, but until next time, you're watching 0612 TV. Hello! If you enjoyed this video, don't forget I appreciate every like, favorite, and comment you give me. If you'd like to see more from me in the future, don't forget to subscribe. For more updates outside of YouTube, do follow my official Twitter account at 0612TV. And if you'd like to see more of my work, you can also check out my About Me page. Once again, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, you're watching 0612TV.